Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm joined by Divesh. He's a boxing coach here in Montreal and also a former high-level amateur boxer. I'm gonna let you give a quick introduction about yourself before we get started.
I'm like you said, I'm Divesh Patel. I'm a boxing coach, and I used to be a very high level fighter that trained with Team Canada. And I would say I'm a coach that accommodates for people that feel like the sport of boxing is very intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Because I was one of those guys when I was like 13 years old, 12 years old that wanted to really take boxing seriously. At some point, I felt like the sport was intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Like the boxing gyms and the big people, the fucking big muscles, the sparrings. I felt like it was scary as a kid. So I wanted to be one of those coaches that brought the common folk, like a 25-year-old, a 24-year-old, even like a 16-year-old who thinks that the sport is kind of like scary and just like teach boxing to these type of people. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be that type of boxing coach. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would introduce myself. Just a guy who makes the sort of boxing very accessible to like those type of people. You know what I'm saying? Because I was one of those people. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would introduce myself to the people who don't know me as a boxing coach because there's many types of boxing coaches, and I would say that I'm that type of boxing coach. You feel me? So yeah, man.
Amazing. Can't wait to get into it.
Let's go,
So
man. Let's go.
before we start with the your boxing journey,
Yeah.
I just want to get a bit of more background about you,
Okay.
Divesh Patel. So can you tell me just a bit about your background? How long have you been in Canada and any other information you think is
Yo,
relevant?
I've I'm born here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm born here. I'm born in more specifically LaSalle. And I feel like that's important in my how do you say who I am as a person, like where I'm from, because it's a community that I basically almost never left up until I joined Hard Knocks and I started exploring a little bit all of Montreal, St. Henry, Westmount, downtown Montreal, that type of stuff. And that's where I'm from, man. I'm from LaSalle. My parents are from India, but specifically Gujarat. And I'm not too into my culture, you know what I'm saying? But I really, how do you say, I put myself in the shoes of other brown people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, because in my culture, what it is with brown people, and you probably maybe relate as also as an immigrant yourself and whatnot, you it's very hard to kind of go into a sport like boxing and kind of get accepted and like, say like, okay, I'm gonna do this seriously. You know what I'm saying? Because like in our type of culture, like everybody has to be doing school. Everybody's got to be being engineer and doctor, something like smart. Feel like something like architecture and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to like open the doors for people of my color skin and be like, yo, like you can do boxing, bro. Like, don't be scared about it. If you want to do it, do it. You feel me? And I think that's also important that as a brown person, like I'm like really like putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you can also do this. You know what I'm saying? You can come from India to Canada, you can do boxing and you can be successful in the sport. Because if I did it, you can do it too. You feel me? And to touch upon what I was saying about how LaSalle is also important in my story is it's important to me because I grew up there from my whole life, and it's a community that like how do you say? There's a lot of like crime, and there's a lot of like kids that are kind of how do you say in a limbo with life. You feel me? So what I mean by that is that a lot of kids they don't know what they want to do in life, so they kind of drift in all sorts of direction. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? Because as a kid, like, are you born here, man?
I was born here, but I grew up in Dubai.
You grew up in
Yeah.
Dubai. But I maybe in Dubai you've probably seen this, but like as a kid, like from the ages of 5 to 12, you don't notice anything.
Mhm.
You're like, this is oblivious. You know what I'm saying? We're all having fun. Well, we're all gonna grow up to be astronauts or some bullshit like that, you know what I'm saying, or some sports star. And you're like, everybody's gonna live great. But when you become a teenager, there's something that clicks for everybody's head where it's like, I'm gonna be a gangster, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, or like everybody kind of drifts their own way. Like people change with maturity and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And I started realizing that like, yo, there's a lot of my not close friends, but people that I knew were kind of going in so many different directions. And I was like, shit, man, this is crazy. Like I had friends that went to prison, for example, and it's cliche to say, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? Went to prison. There's people that are just kind of in limbo in life where they don't know what they're doing and they're doing something that they don't like because they don't know what else to do. I got people that, they come to me asking for advice because they see that, I'm doing my passion and whatnot. And I'm like, shit, like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? These are people I grew up with and whatnot. And these are guys that are in my community that I was like, damn, like I seen you guys as like guys that would grow up with me and we would all come up together. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what can I do for, let's say, my community in the future? You know what I'm saying? Coming up that could help not the whole community, but the people that I wanted, like 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, let me do like let me use my passion of boxing and teach it to others. And the reason why I really decided to take that seriously is because when I was how do you say? When I was 13 years old, okay? That's when I decided to take like really learn boxing. And one of the reasons why is because from the age of 5 to 13, I was doing karate and I met a lot of friends through there. And one of my friends is this Turkish guy. His name is Baldan. And I'll talk about him a little bit more later because he's a very close friend of mine and we did a lot of things together. And I have to thank him for a lot of things because he really brought me into boxing. You know what I'm saying? That guy in particular, he really like he showed me the sport of boxing. And he showed me uh what it can do for you. Discipline, confidence, strength, everything. You know what I'm saying? The all the things that boxing gives you. You know what I'm saying? You've definitely felt that. You felt the discipline, the confidence that it gets you and whatnot. And he showed me that. And through his like through his initiative to show me the sport of boxing, I was like, oh, I can show this to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know, I in LaSalle I give a class at my CJEP and many other schools around Montreal, close to LaSalle, and it's a free class. And I sometimes the classes are like 40 people, and that's a great class. But the people that truly get the benefits of my teachings and whatnot are the people who stay in the classes for weekend, years, months. Like they kind of like they stay in the program and they really see a big change in their lives through the sport of boxing, through my teaching. And those are people like I'm like, yo, I'm so glad that for once I took boxing seriously myself and that now I'm able to bring this love of the sport that I have to other people, whether or not they fight or whether or not they use the sport as an outlet to like succeed in their other things, whether it's school, whether it's business and other things. I'm just like, to me, the community in LaSalle, I'm very happy that I grew up there and I met so many people from that community and that now I can be a positive change to people in that community. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's important to me that I can be a good change to my community in LaSalle, for one, but also to I don't know how many people or few people that I'm influencing in the brown community, but also that. And it's funny that you asked me that question because I didn't think I was influencing the brown community up until I would say 2 days ago, where I decided to go to Econo Fitness. You know what I'm saying? And I went with my friend, and the reason why is because I went to Econo Fitness because like I was just kind of like it was like a late night thing, and I was talking to my friend, and I was like, "Yo, you want to get a lift in real quick?" You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to feel a pump real quick. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Fuck it, let's go." You know what I'm saying? We did like a little quick push day. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of trying to look big. You know what I'm saying for the night. You know what I'm saying? And I like my friend was doing his last lift, so I decided, let me get some water real quick before we leave. I walk away, and this brown guy comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, you do those videos, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, what's up, man? Like, yo, how you doing? This, that." There's a brown guy just like me. And I acquainted him and whatnot. I'm like, "Yo, do you enjoy the videos? This, that." He's like, "Yo, you don't understand how much those videos like inspire me." And I was like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? In my head, I'm like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I was doing those videos because me personally, the videos are like a fun thing for me to do. Like I like teaching boxing. I like showing people boxing. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't think of it like as inspiring to the common folk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how you feel about the videos, if you really like delve into my videos like crazy, you know what I'm saying? But like me, I wouldn't expect you to be like crazy inspired by it, for example. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm talking to this guy I just met, and he's there like, bro, I watched that video and I was like, I didn't know brown people can do that. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like little things like that. Like he was just telling me a story about how he always wanted to do boxing, Muay Thai, and Jiu-Jitsu, but he always felt like it was a scary and like subject to bring up to his parents because he was like, bro, like just like my family, they kind of scare me. Like they want school, they want me to be successful, but I'm like, I just wanted to do something different sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I wonder when I in 10 years or even just small, like 2, 3 years, how many people would I have impacted indirectly just off that? Because that's a person I don't even know that watched my videos and they were like, yo, that was inspiring. And I was like, bro, and this guy was 26 years old. He was telling me, like, oh, it's too late. I'm like, bro, you're 26, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got so much time on your hands, bro. Like, you could just go to the local boxing gym or Muay Thai gym or where the case may be, and just in 1 year, you'll see, you'll learn so much. You don't have to do a fight, but you'll see how much it changes your life. And it's just like, those are things like that. Like, recently, I've just been like, fuck, I'm so glad I decided to like do videos, and I'm so glad that I decided to decide to coach people because it's like, if I still kept fighting, sure, I could have still been the national team, could have still, you know, racked up accolades and whatnot. It made me look amazing and get some belts and whatnot. But what would I have done for my community? What would I have done? What would I have given to people? Not much, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Just it would be super selfish of me to keep fighting and whatnot, in my opinion, when I look back at it. So I'm very grateful for the position I really have, honestly speaking. You know what I'm saying? And the community that I have, like it's like indirectly without knowing it, I'm giving back so much. It's like it's almost like so much in my brain, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a great thing that I've built, honestly. I'm super proud of myself for what it is, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I definitely want to get more into like your coaching and the videos that you're doing now.
Mhm.
Before we get into that, I really want to try and cover your full journey as a fighter. So can you tell me like what was your first contact with boxing? Did you do any sport before? And then we'll get into your competitions.
Bro, like I was saying, I started when I was 5, right? And from 5 to 12 years old, I did karate. And one of the things why I did karate is because, bro, I was watching these videos and these movies, Karate Kid. You know what I'm saying? I was watching Karate Kid and I was like, yo, karate is the best thing in the world. Bro. This guy's breaking ice with his fucking hands and pop. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I'm going to do that shit. So I did karate, but I did Shotokan karate. And if you know Shotokan karate, my opinion, Shotokan karate is very artistic, like katas and like punch. When you're punching someone, you have to stop in front of their nose. You can't actually punch them. I'm like, is this realistic? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, like I want to feel what it's like to actually punch someone. And what's funny is that the people that I met in not boxing, in karate from 5 to 12, a lot of them I'm still friends with. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. Uh, it's crazy. Like just karate really shaped me for who I am as a person, honestly. And just in general, mostly the people that I met through there. But one of the people that I met was my friend Baldan, who's a Turkish guy. He was a year older than me. And what it was that we were doing karate together, and he was always in karate. I was a brown belt, so I was just a level behind black belt, and he was a green belt. So he was very like I was like here, he was here in terms of levels, right? So in my opinion, I was there like, oh, like I beat this guy in a fight anytime, right? He stopped karate when he went to high school. So for a whole year, I didn't see him because you're going to primary school, he's in high school, and we're not seeing each other in karate. I'm like, and you have no phone. So you don't know where the kid is. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, he disappears. You know what I'm saying in your head. Then when I went to high school, I saw him. He was in sec two and I was in sec one. And I was like, I went up to him like, yo, bro, I miss you, bro. Like, yo, where you been, bro? He's like, yo, I do this sport called boxing. Bro, I don't know if this is crazy as a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, but I didn't know what boxing was. I was like, yo, what the hell is this? You feel me? He's like, yo, it's just it's a new martial art thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, show me, bro. Like, show me. What is this, bro? He brings like his gloves the next day. He tells me, okay, come to the dinner, like during dinner time. and we'll go like in the schoolyard. He puts these gloves on. He put gloves on me, and he's just like, okay, I'll teach you how to punch. Teach me how to punch. Teach me all this type of stuff. And karate, if you know karate, you have the long karate stance, right? If you
Mhm.
watch Conor McGregor, it
Yeah.
was like that. So I was like this, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I'm like, I'm looking stupid as fuck, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, no, 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 shorten that up, do this. And in my head, I'm like, who the fuck is this green belt telling me what to do? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like higher level, technically speaking, in karate standards, right? And then he tells me like, nah, trust, trust, trust. It's way better, bro. There's that. He puts me in like in a sparring where I spar him, and he whoops my ass straight. Like I'm talking like this is dinner time, like 12 to 1:30. He whoops my ass. I got black eye, I got bloody nose, all this bullshit. And on my head, I'm there like, fuck, how the fuck this guy whoop my
Mhm.
ass, bro? You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I was just hooked. I was like, yo, like I need to learn more. Cause how the hell did he beat me?
Mhm.
So then every day I would just tell him, like, yo, bring the pads, bring the gloves and whatnot. And he would teach me boxing. And what's cool about him is that he was actually at Hard Knocks at that point. So he was learning from the coaches that I have today, like Ibrahim and Herbie. So he was teaching me boxing during dinner time. And what was cool about it is that he was bringing his own friends to train with us because he saw that I had a passion for it to learn how to fight and whatnot. And he was like, "Yo, let me test your abilities out. Let me teach my let me see what my coaching is doing." You know what I'm saying? So I was spar, and technically at this point, we were not calling this sparring. It was straight fighting. As 13 years old,
Yeah.
when someone tells another 13-year-old, "Yo, this 13-year-old wants to fight you," you're not going out there for a friendly spar. You're going there to kill him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we're out there in the dinner schoolyard. You know what I'm saying? Away a little bit away from school, just straight swinging, pop, 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 smacking each other up, and like, you know, it created like a, how do you say, like kind of like a little community. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, when you're in high school and you do high, did you do high school here?
No, I did it in Dubai.
Maybe it's like that in Dubai, but and here in Canada, man, fuck. You see a fight, motherfucker, it nobody's stopping the fight. We all watching.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We all watching. We all having a good time. We all throwing popcorn. We all having a glorious time. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things was that this guy Baldan, he would make us all fight, and then other people would be like, "Yo, I want to do against this guy," or "I want to do with this guy." So they created kind of like this like fight club, for example. So we used to come in dinner time, and we'd have like at some point it started at 10 people, then it became 40 people. Then we had like the whole school coming to watch us fight, and then it created this like kind of problem with like the school was getting involved and that type of thing, where the case may be. But I didn't realize it at that point, but when I look back at it, I was really enjoying myself. And not just the fighting aspect of it all, of boxing, but I enjoyed when people came to watch you fight. I enjoyed being in this ring, this schoolyard, and being like, yo, we got Divesh fighting. And then I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I like that aspect. You know what I'm saying? I liked even the aspect of me sometimes I get caught with a shot. I'm like, all right, fuck you. Let me get you back. You know what I'm saying? Or when I was whooping someone's ass, I like that aspect of it all. I kind of liked everything about boxing. And I got it through him. You know what I'm saying? But what's funny is that I never went to a boxing gym at that point. For like 2 years, I didn't go to a boxing gym. This guy Baldan brought me to the gym, Hard Knocks, 2 times in his life. Uh, so he showed me the boxing gym, but I didn't like really go to a boxing gym. I just went there for like he was like, yo, like just come join my gym and whatnot. But I never wanted to pull the trigger because I was also like I was saying in the beginning of the pod, I was like, I was scared of what my parents would say. You know what I'm saying? That whole like, oh, like what my parents would say. Like they're gonna tell me, nah, I can't fight or this, that, like it's too dangerous and this, that. So I never pulled the trigger at that point in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm not gonna join this gym for now. You know what I'm saying? So I kept getting better, at the schoolyard. I was training with my friend Baldan. And at some point, COVID hit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, shit, I'm doing fucking nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I would say like it was a very, very good time in my life. Like for a lot of reasons. First of all, I got really close to my friends because what else are you gonna do in COVID? You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna talk to your friends. You're gonna have deep conversations. You're gonna play. I mean, we were playing Among Us. You know, if you remember,
Yeah.
you were playing Among Us. We were playing like this Galactic Phone. We are playing all these type of games. You know what I'm saying? It's a good time because like, yo, these FaceTime calls or at this point here, it was house party. You know, like we're out here like 10, 12 people in a call, all screaming at each other, all having a good time. It was like a party every day. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good vibe for me. You know what I'm saying? But every time at night, and what's funny about COVID is that and maybe you felt this honestly, but as a 16-year-old, like you have so much energy, so you never sleep during COVID. You know what I'm saying? So I used to be awake until like 6 in the morning and I would never sleep. So I would just kind of like go nights and nights and nights, and I would just see the days roll by. Like I didn't even know what day of the week it was during COVID. And maybe you felt that. You
Yeah.
felt it. That's what I'm
In
saying.
the lockdown.
Exactly. It's just the lockdown shit. You just like you see the days flying and just the time flying. You're like, shit, man, just a month flew by just like that. I've just been on my fucking bed playing Among Us. What the fuck is wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? But in between uh all those moments of fun, it was like those late night conversations with your friends, like very close friends. And I'd have conversations with a lot of people that I'm still close with. I'll name drop them right now. I had guys that were named. His name is Mazlum. I had this other guy that I boxed with. Grew up basically. These are all guys I grew up when I was like 4 years old. Like, and now we're 21. So I've been friends with them since what 15 years now. You know what I'm saying? I had this guy Thomas, which I had very deep conversations about. Where I actually started boxing with him at the gym. So he came to the gym with me when I actually started at the gym, and we actually like built our amateur careers up together. I had conversations with these type of people very late night, like, yo, after COVID or like what the fuck are we gonna do? Are we gonna go back to school and do the same bullshit? And then we were like kind of like not brainstorming, but we are like we kind of got locked in, you know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I had in my garage that was kind of keeping me active was a boxing bag. And my dad bought me that a year prior to COVID because he was seeing me get black eyes, but I would never tell him that I was actually fighting.
Mm.
But he knew I was fighting, but he didn't want to push the subject. He was like, I know he's fighting. I'm not stupid because I was also a young kid, but I'm gonna get him a boxing bag so that he can do it, you know what I'm saying, without bringing it out on other people. So I had a boxing bag in my garage and I was training during COVID, like just hitting the bag and whatnot and just having a good time. And I was telling myself, like, yo, that's some real shit. I'm fucking good. I'm fucking good at fighting. And I was like, you know what? When the COVID ban lifts off, I'm gonna join a boxing gym. I didn't give a fuck what boxing gym it was. But I already kind of had in mind what gym I wanted to go to because like I was saying, my friend Baldan, he was going to Hard Knocks already. So I was like, why the fuck would I not go to Hard Knocks? You know what I'm saying? Like, why the hell would I not go? So when COVID lifted off the ban, first thing I did, I went to Hard Knocks and I brought my friend Thomas that I was just talking to you about to the gym. And I would say inside like 2 months, I had my first fight. 2 months. It didn't take long. And then from there, it just kind of like they say that boxing is a snowball effect. It was a straight snowball effect. It was just like the snowball was getting bigger and bigger and bigger because I was winning fights. I was doing good in the sparrings. I was at the gym twice a day. I loved everything about boxing. I loved hitting the speedball. I love hitting the reflex back. I love hitting the back. I love hitting the pads. I love training with my friends. I love everything. I love the fights even more. You know what I'm saying? I love the show about it. I love walking out. I love putting my hands up in the air. I love the feeling of when, the ref says in the red corner, Divesh Patel, bang, I win the fight. I loved all that feeling. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's what it was. That's how I started. That's like kind of my whole uh journey leading up to now where I'm a coach now. I had 30 amateur fights against honestly, like when you're in the moment, you don't realize how good these guys are. But now that I'm looking back, I'm like, fuck. I was fighting some dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of high level national opponents, international opponents. Some guys are on a national team right now, representing Team Canada in Spain right now that I fought. Some of them I've beat, some of them I've lost close decisions to, and it just shows that, you know, all you need in life, honestly, is initiative. You know what I'm saying? If you really want something and you really feel like you're good at it, you just take the initiative and you'll see like if once you win that first fight, once you have that first good training, it's like a snowball effect, just kind of big getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you keep you keep pushing the boundaries. You know what I'm saying? That's how I started in boxing, honestly, man, and just in the sport in general, because I just loved everything about it. Like I genuinely have a passion for it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's how it was, man, for me.
Sick. And
Yeah,
what was your first fight like? Were you nervous?
bro. What's funny? The first fight, mentally, I was on some like, this guy can't fuck with me.
Mm,
I was like, I was like, man, I've already fought at my school many times. I'm telling you, like, I was fighting every day at my school. You know what I'm saying? Just for the fun of it. And I was testing myself against everybody. And I'm not saying I was winning every fight. I was getting my ass whooped a lot. So I was there like, the fuck am I? What am I stressing about for this first fight? And my first fight was at Bronze Gloves. Okay. You've done any big, like any of the
did
tournaments?
the bronze gloves, yeah.
So okay, so you understand like the weigh-ins and whatnot. So did the weigh-in, all that shenanigan, and I was 119 pounds, so super small. And the guy I was fighting already had 3 fights in his career and all 3 wins. I looked at his record, I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I was maybe stressed out a little bit, but I wasn't stressed out about who I was against. I was stressed out on how would I feel? Like, would my punches be strong enough? Because I was like, I genuinely felt like I was gonna win that fight. It was just like in my head, I was like, I didn't do all this training or all this time for like nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when I went to the ring, I looked around. I was like, okay, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? And my coach Ibrahim was super excited. Like in his head, I kind of felt like he thought we were gonna win already
Mm,
because he was like, ain't no way this kid's losing, man. Like he's been grinding for like he at this point he basically only trained me for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? But it was just the way I was training, like just the mentality that I had in my head. You know what I'm saying? Fight ended in 30 seconds. Like so, and he till this day I don't really know what happened. I don't know if I punched his shoulder or he genuinely like threw a shot and like broke his shoulder. Like it's very not clear in the video, but I was really much piecing his shit up. You know what I'm saying? And he put his hand on his shoulder and he got hurt and fight got waved off. 30 seconds done. And I was like, very anticlimactic. I was like, okay, cool. And I didn't take it as a first win. That was very important for uh kind of like my mental a little bit. Cause I was like, if I took that as a first win, how would I feel? Do I feel proud about that win? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Even though, when you look back at it, I probably would have won that fight regardless of how it was, just based on what was happening in that fight. I took my second fight as my real fight. And that fight, my coach put me against a guy that was 10 pounds heavier than me. And he did that purposely. Now, Hard Knocks has kind of like, from my experience, has a mentality where they're like, amateurs is for experience. Amateurs win, losses, it don't matter. We have to build you up as a fighter. Let's see what you're really about. Do you have heart? Do you have toughness? Do you have boxing skills? Do you back up when shit gets hard? Do you go forward when shit gets hard? Like how do you react to certain situations? You know what I'm saying? And that's important because if you always give the fighter like easy fights, for example, it's a way of building up a fighter. But also in the amateurs, you kind of want to see how your fighter reacts to hard situations, easy situations. How does he react when he hurts a guy? How does he react when he gives someone an 8 count? How does he react when your fighter gets an 8 count? How does he react? So Hard Knocks is a gym kind of like that. They want to see what their fighter is mentally. And I was against this guy 10 pounds heavier than me, who he's a great fighter, honestly. Now he's not a national team, but he fought at nationals. His name is Juan Pablo Pena Bellucci, very good fighter. He trains at Club de Bucks, the corner with Elio. So honestly, a very good fighter. And I'm very impressed with how far he came in his career. And I gave like a very, very poised performance, like very boxing technical. I was very coachable in the corner. Like I could hear only my corner. My corner would tell me, "Yo, back up, slow it down, work your jab. Okay, set up that check hook. Bang!" I would hit him. Okay, yo, give me a 4 piece combination from there. Pop, 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 pop. I'm out. It was just like I was just listening to my corner. It was just poised. You know what I'm saying? It was just technical, good fight, and you know it was an exhibition fight, and they did that purposely. I didn't know it was an exhibition. I just kind of found out like once I was in the ring. They didn't want to tell me that because they want me my mentality to think it was a real fight. So both our hands came up and whatnot. But when you rewatch that fight, you could tell that like if it was a real fight, I would have taken that fight. You know what I'm saying? But it was like one of those fights. It was just like, yo, this kid is coachable. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when I was like, that's my first win. I'm gonna take that as my first win. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the fight I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, I had my third fight, my fourth fight, fifth fight, and every fight surprisingly it teach me something. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's just those things like every fight, like it's different experiences, whether it's a win or a loss, but it's different lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like I could go this whole pod talking about every single fight, and I could tell you what it teach me, and you're gonna learn from what I my experiences. But it's like there's so much about fighting. Like even you definitely got some stories against some people. You're like, damn, this guy he taught me that timing was key in boxing, for example. Or this guy, I hit him and I saw that he was getting emotional. So I calmed myself down and I was like, you know what, let me let his emotion come to me and let me catch him with something, for example, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got stories like that. And what's funny is about with all these fights and all these experiences, all these wins, all these losses, all these type of different fights that I've had, you know what I'm saying? Whether they were good fights or bad fights, it like I bring it back to my clients and my students. I'm like, yo, this is what I learned from this fight. Don't fucking do that or do this or do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how my first fight went. And this how like like this how any of my fights go. Like I kind of like every single fight I kind of bring lessons and all that type of stuff to people. You know what I'm saying?
Or and at what point did you get selected for the national team or the Olympic team?
There's and there's maybe we can clip this later, you know what I'm saying? There's a video that I did that kind of details this a little bit where I lost three fights in a row. And this is the first time in my life I lost back-to-back fights. I hadn't had many losses. Like at that point I had only three losses, but out of nowhere I lost three fights in a row. I lost at the Golden Gloves finals in a very close decision. Like it was like it could have went to me and I didn't beat myself over it because I was like could have went to me, whatever. There was that. Then I lost at someone else's club show in a co-main event, and that one I beat myself over for it because it was like one of those fights where I was very emotional. I was like, because he gave me a count very early on in the fight, and I thought, damn, I'm at his gym and I just got counted early, and everybody's screaming some like, whoa, like this guy just got it, blah, blah, blah. So I got very emotional in the fight, and we kind of beefed in the fight and whatnot, like unironically, and it threw me off my game plan. So it's one of those things where you learn in the fights and whatnot not to redo. And then I lost a fight at my own gym. So that was hard to take because losing a fight at your own gym in front of all your friends, you're like, fuck, who am I as a fighter? Like I train every day and I get my ass whooped in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I was on a street fight losing streak. And in my head, I was there like, bro, I'm maybe I'm not who I think I am. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. I was very down my like mentally and whatnot. But I wasn't out of it. Like I was still there like people losing the amateurs. Like fuck that shit. Like I can always bounce back. And what's funny is that when you're in provincials and you make it to the finals, you get selected for the nationals. And that year was Olympic trials because we were trying to qualify for the Olympics and whatnot. And Team Canada needed to know who their top guy was at each weight class. Okay. So I had made it to the finals of Golden Gloves, which I had lost by split decision, unfortunately. But they still gave me a chance to fight Olympic trials. So I went to Olympic trials, and it was a fight at the Olympic Stadium. It was on a Tuesday when I had school and whatnot. And honestly, I didn't understand what the moment really like meant. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a Tuesday. You don't really fight on Tuesdays. You always fight on Fridays or Saturdays. And you're going to Olympic Stadium. You're like, okay, like it's just what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like the fuck, I just lost three fights in a row, and my coach are telling me go to the Olympic Stadium. You got to fight because I actually didn't know that I actually didn't know I qualified for it. They kind of just told me last minute like go. I'm like, the fuck you mean go? I got to fight? They're like, yeah, you got to fight. I'm like, okay. So I go to Olympic Stadium, and what's funny is that I didn't cut weight or anything because I used to walk around at 125 pounds. And the Olympic trials at that point, my division was 125 pounds. And my coaches knew that. They knew I was like that guy who was like very like underweight, like not cutting weight and whatnot, just fighting at my natural weight. So I go in the lineup and I don't know who I'm fighting, but I just recognize a few people. And I'm like, oh shit.
Mm.
I see pro fighters here and there. I see these guys that I watch on TV. I'm like, the fuck am I doing here with these guys? You know what I'm saying? I do the weigh in and I'm in the Olympic Stadium, mind you, and I'm looking at this Olympic training center for the first time. I'm like, oh, this is what I see on Instagram. It's like the high level fighters where they train. I'm like, okay. And then I do the weigh in, I make weight and whatnot. I At this point I don't know who I'm fighting. I and mind you, I only know who I'm fighting when I get to the ring. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Olympic trials here. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be, technically speaking, at this point, number 2 in Quebec, and I'm supposed to fight another individual that's number 2 or number 1 in their own province. It's kind of crazy that I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? I do that, get ready, and I get acquainted by not my coach at Hard Knocks at this point, but this great coach Carl Andy, who he used to be a pro fighter, who fought Lucien Boutet, if you know Lucien Boutet and whatnot, and he's a coach at Box Montreal, very great coach. And I was also accompanied by F. Fortin, an amazing coach herself in Quebec, and one coach that you very much know, Coach Elio. I was acquainted by those 3 coaches in my corner, and they prepared me for this fight. And there was something about it that I was like, I was on a 3-fight losing streak, and I honestly, I was like, I was kind of like in a flow mode, like from what I'm telling you right now, like I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of just going through the motion of things. Like I'm not too stressed out. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like walking around and exploring. I'm like, shit, like what is this place? You know what I'm saying? They call my name up to finally fight, and I see who I'm fighting. They say number 1 guy in Alberta. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, like what the fuck? Who the fuck am I fighting here? And then the coach checks your gloves, and you tap your groin stroke. You checks your headgear, and then your coach. I have Elio telling me like, "Good luck, boss." Bang. And maybe I don't know if you watched that's the one fight I have on my Instagram page, because that fight gave me a spot on Team Canada. I absolutely gave him a boxing clinic. Like it was one of those fights I was just in flow state. Like everything that I learned from my coach at Hard Knocks just came into one day. You know what I'm saying? Like I had just lost 3 fights in a row, and just that one fight right there, it just showed all my boxing skills in one night. Like I was doing some Roy Jones triple hooks. I was doing my defense counters, putting my hands down, being long guard, Philly shell, high guard. I showed all my levels, working off the ropes, getting back to center, moving, punching to my left, punching to my right, controlling distance. It was like everything in boxing that you can do, I showed it in glimpses everywhere. I had control of that fight. I even showboated. Like I had control of that fight. And I won that fight clear as day and whatnot. And it was an amazing performance. And after the fight, I just there's many people that came up to me that were coaches. Even like at this point, fighters from the national team were coming up to me. They're like, "Yo, that was an amazing fight." I didn't know what the moment felt. I just thought they were just telling me that because when you win a fight, you also came up to people like, "Yo, that was a great fight, bro. That was great." But when you get told by like national team members, "Yo, that was a great fight," then you kind of like, "Oh shit, like okay, that was a good fight." You know what I'm saying? So what it was, that fight really put me on the map, and then I fought this other guy right after because you move up in the tournament. I fought this other guy called Delis. He's a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? He was number 1 in BC, and at this point number 2 in Canada. I lost that fight, but it was just a good experience, honestly. It was like very like whereas very I would say boxing. Like it was like just 2 boxing minds against each other, and we are just seeing who was better that night. You know what I'm saying? On one day it could have been me, one day it could have been him. You know what I'm saying? And that day it was him. And honestly, he's one of the best fighters that I've fought. Like he was very smart, disciplined, and poised about his attacks. Like he never got emotional, and uh he always stuck to the game plan. Is what I noticed about his fights. I love watching him fight. And I love fighting him. Honestly, it's one of those things. Like I'm so glad I fought you that night. You know what I'm saying, or just sparred you in general. So just that experience at Olympic trials gave me a shot at Team Canada. So how I started from there is that a week after Olympic trials, they invited me for sparring against a national champion. I did fucking well. Then they invited me again and again and again. And then I got into training camps that were 2 weeks long. And I would train with the highest level fighters, pros, amateur fighters, guys that were going on the Olympic cycle and whatnot. I was training with those guys and I kept performing and I kept learning. And I was like a sponge, like of just learning. I was kept asking questions. I kept having positive attitude. I kept being coachable. I kept like wanting to be there. And it was clear as day that I wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I just that's how I got on the national team. And that's how I stayed on a national team for a year. Because, technically speaking, I was not number one or number two in Canada. I was probably like number four, you know what I'm saying? At that point, number five, you know what I'm saying? But I was just very coachable, very question asked, very driven about the sport and very like curious. And I had a lot of potential, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure Team Canada saw it. And I did 3 camps with them. And I was on the team for a year, and one of the camps that my last camp with Team Canada was the Olympic team selection. So after the Olympics, they have to make a new team because you can't go with the same people after the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? You got to like freshen up the team a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I was one of the 4 people that they selected in the 55 kilogram weight class to potentially be the guy that they work with for 4 years to build up for the next Olympic. 4 years is a lot of time for a national team and just really being on the like kind of keep improving and whatnot. Unfortunately, I did not get picked, but that's an experience like I would never forget. You know what I'm saying? And it showed me a lot. Like I was training like an athlete. Like I was doing like all the strength and conditioning with all the scientific stuff, the plyometric, all the scientific. I felt like an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, oh shit, like I'm important. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. That's how I got on a national team. And just all the experiences that I've learned of me being on a national team, I bring it back to my teachings. Like it's crazy, like how much you learn being with the highest level of people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's how it was with me, man. Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. What
big
was
time.
the I'm interested to know what the schedule was like with the national team. Like, how often are you doing strength and conditioning?
Yo, so you're doing it depends. It varies from weekend on week on. Now I was on a national team like on team B, for example, for a year. Okay. So I was on team A. So I wasn't there every day, like every time.
Mm.
But for the camps, they basically made you not simulate, but they would show you what it was like to be on a national team, like team A, for example. And what it was is that and this is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. You would start the day off with maybe a strength and conditioning, and then you would definitely finish a boxing session. Okay. But your boxing session, for example, I don't know how it's like, but you're not always gonna do the same thing 24/7. You're not always gonna do jump rope, shadow boxing, then bag work. You know what I'm saying? The classic routine, right? For the national team, they're focusing on a certain thing. Their their boxing trainer for their boxing training for Monday could be just tech spar. You're gonna do 6 rounds. You're gonna focus on feinting in the middle of your combination. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna do 6 rounds against this guy, this guy, this guy, and you're gonna focus on this thing with this guy. You're gonna focus on this thing with this guy. You're gonna focus on this thing with this guy. And it's crazy because the national team is pretty big, right? And it's crazy that they have a plan for every single person. You're gonna do this with this guy because you had problem with this thing. Blah 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 blah. For the strength and conditioning, they would do the exact same thing. They would focus on a certain thing that the fighter needed. You know what I'm saying? Let's say for me, my power was not up to par compared to every other 55 kilogram fighter, for example. They'll tell me, okay, you're gonna do seated dumbbell presses like this, but you're gonna whale it pop like this, and you're gonna work on that more than usual comparatively to everybody else, for example. So they would focus on things like that. Let's say that was for a Monday. Then on Tuesday, you would have the morning, it would be uh a boxing training, but you would focus on pads. So they would just do pad work with a little bit of shadow boxing in the beginning, and then after that, a little cool down at the end, for example. And you would focus very technical on the pad work. Like you would just work on one thing, 24/7. Then at night, they would maybe do another boxing training, but this time they would do tech spar again, and then just kind of whatever you worked on pad work, they would do it again in tech spar. So whatever you learn in the morning, you do it at night. Then the next day on Wednesday, You do strength and conditioning in the morning, or you do a run, and then you go back to boxing training. And then sometimes they would even put seminars in the middle of your day. So they would be like, okay, you're gonna learn about nutrition. So you have this
Okay.
expert nutrition coming in and telling you, okay, you need to eat this and that because this is good, blah, 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 blah. So they would do that. Or they would do a seminar about point scoring. Okay, this is scoring shot. Oh, guys, yo, what is this a scoring shot? And then you have to say yes or no. And they tell you, oh, fuck no, that ain't no scoring shot, this, that. And they tell you why. So they tell you shit like that. You know, they would just make you like study things like that, like seminars like that. And then sometimes if you're lucky, you can even book massages and go to the sauna, cold plunge. Recovery was also a big thing, but recovery you would do it on your own time. So you would have to find that time in between sessions to do it. And training on the national team was very fun in the beginning, but very hard to manage because, as you can tell from what I'm telling you about the schedule, it was day and night, and it's not like I wasn't doing that already at Hard Knocks, but it's hard to go from where I'm at LaSalle to the Olympic Stadium 24/7 while also managing school and trying to give a boxing class at the same time at Hard Knocks and sometimes also training at Hard Knocks. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things to balance. So it was one of those things where it's like training with national team was a blessing and I'm super glad I did it and I wouldn't take that away. But it also made me realize I need a balance. I need to see what I truly like in life. Did I like doing school and studying what I was studying? At that point, it was architecture. A great thing that I was learning. Honestly, I love drawing and I love doing creating things. Uh, I could have focused on that. I could have focused on my fight career and really staying on the national team, fighting for my spot, training at Hard Knocks, and really taking that seriously, and maybe potentially go to the Olympics, get better, or become pro. You know what I'm saying, and maybe build that career up. Or I had a little thing going on with the coaching. It was very little. It was very little. I was only giving a kids program and a few classes at schools, so it wasn't like a big business, but it was something I very much enjoyed, and I started really uh, loving it more and more. Uh, the more I did it, like when I started training clients and I started training like fighters, I was like, this is very rewarding. like you know, like when I was training you, you know, I'm sure you learned a lot of things from me. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, like this was very fun training this guy. Like I could tell that he was like absorbing the knowledge like a sponge, and he learned. Let's say, for example, a fake could be this way. You can throw jabs at different paces and all these type of stuff. And I love explaining that to people. I love when people are very attentive and very coachable, and I found that very rewarding as a coach and as a fighter. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? And I felt that it was very it was something for me, you know what I'm saying, like coaching. So through me being on the national team, it made me realize what I really wanted in life, which uh as we know now, it's coaching and teaching other people the sweet science, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, I'm super glad I did the national team. Like I say all the time, man. It's like the lessons I learned from there, a lot of people will never live it. And I'm super glad that I got to live it so that I can give it back to others because a lot of people will just keep it to themselves and just let it be like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Yeah, amazing. And at what point you started coaching did you like pick up the camera? Because I went on your YouTube and I found some videos like from a while back.
For a while
So
back.
what made you pick up the camera and just start recording?
Uh I was always like kind of like a camera guy, honestly. Like I just love being in front of the camera. Like when I was 13, I had like the dummy YouTube channels. Like as a kid, like you just fucking posting Q&As for the fun of it with like you get like 5 views on it. Like as a dumbass kid,
Yeah.
like having fun, like trying to be a PewDiePie or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Those videos are deleted though. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the fuck was I doing back then? You know what I'm saying? So I always like kind of had fun with the camera. And then when I was 16 doing boxing and whatnot. And this was like right before COVID too. I did like this documentary about fighting, and it was for this project for school. And I created the whole film. Like I filmed it myself, I edited it myself. When I look back at it, honestly, from the videos I do now, it was pretty shitty. You know what I'm saying? But you could tell I had a passion for it. I was like, oh, like I like creating film. You know what I'm saying? I like bringing my ideas to light and kind of making it forever. Because a lot of people a lot of people like they're like, oh, like why are you taking a photo of me? Why are you taking a video of me and this, that? But like when you look back at it a year from now or 5 years from now, you're like, fuck, I forgot I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like I fucking forgot I fucking did that shit. And it's fun seeing people grow up from where they were 5 years ago to 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? It's just little things like that. Like it's just like I kind of liked being on camera and just kind of filming my progress. And at some point, I kind of stopped filming, like those little things. And I was just like, okay, like I'm just gonna do boxing. I'll do it seriously. And then when I started doing coaching, at first, I wasn't filming my stuff. I was just coaching to coach. I had maybe 2 to 3 people that I was training, and I was like, "This is very fun." You know what I'm saying? But how do I get more people? Because I'm like, I want to train more people. I'm gonna be honest right now. Like, I found it so rewarding that I was like, I could my knowledge. I could teach it to. I want to teach it to 30 people. I want to teach it to 40 people. I want to teach it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So how did I do that? I was like, let me post some videos. So I started simple with some pad work videos on my stories before even posting any reels because I wasn't comfortable posting reels just now because I was like, am I a good coach? Yeah, am I a good coach? And then, I started posting and posting and posting. And then my clients got better. Like I was seeing the progress from A to Z. And I was like, okay, shit, I went from this guy who didn't know how to throw a jab. Now he can do he understands the control of the ring. He understands range. He understands how to fight off the ropes. He started from zero and now he can do all this. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's when I realized I was like, okay, wait, I'm pretty good as a coach. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of gauge myself as a coach. Let me post some videos on Instagram and bring this to more people because that's what it is at the end of the day. We live in a time where back in the day you have to pay to be on TV and promote your stuff. You have social media now, it's fucking free. So I'm like, let me post some videos. I started some video. I watched this guy, and it's a brown guy. His name is Shida Rajan on Instagram. And I saw his videos and he does like these storytelling videos on his iPhone. And he kind of just like, he makes these nice little cuts. And I was very like engaged in the video. And he was talking about his journey as like, he's like, he had like these like cabins in Los Angeles, I think. And he was like, saying how these cabins will be the best in Los Angeles and this, that. And I love his videos. And I was like, let me do the same thing for my thing. So I did one video, I did 2 videos, I did 3 videos. And then they were getting like a lot of traction. Like I would say like 8,000 views, 10,000 views. And I was like, I like this, man. Like people like my video. And it wasn't high quality from what it is now. But then I was like, yo, I had my friend Malik, who's also a boxer, which you've met, and he was filming. He had a passion for filming. That's what it was very important for me. I wanted to be with someone that had a passion for filming, and I knew that this guy Malik had passion for filming, and I knew this guy since I was maybe 15 years old. And what's funny is that he was my first ever real boxing sparring. So it kind of comes full circle. Like it's like this guy that I supposedly hated when I was 15 years old because I sparred him. And you create these like kind of like things in your head where I hate you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna whoop your ass. And now you're like best friends with this guy. Now all of a sudden, I want to. I brought him in and I was like, "Yo, you want to film a few videos for me?" He's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I love filming." You know what I'm saying? He comes in, he films a few videos, and I like the first few videos. Like we almost had like so ideas. We're like, you know what? Let's just post a few videos how we feel, and then from there, now you see how the pages. Like we really like had a lot of ideas, and it came. I wanted to, in general, with the videos, I just wanted to not be inspiring, but I wanted to tell my story to people, and I wanted to show people how my story could benefit them. And then I wanted to show them my skills as a coach. Like, how do I train people? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does the warm up look like? How does the shadow boxing look like? How does the pads look like? I want to show all these type of skills. Like, I feel like it's important. You know what I'm saying? Before training with a coach, you don't know how most of the coaches they don't post what they do on the social media. So it's kind of like an intimidating thing to go to a boxing gym and you don't know the coach beforehand before joining the gym, and then you figure it out when you're there. I want to be that coach that like you're on social media and you kind of know me before joining the gym. So it's like, oh, this coach looks serious. I want to train with this guy. Let me like when I want to start boxing, I'm gonna go with this guy. So I want to be that coach that makes it not intimidating at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying in the beginning of the pod, like I want to be that coach that does not make boxing feel intimidating. So it was very important for me that in my videos I portrayed that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know me for a while now. I'm not the most intimidating guy. I'm zero intimidating, honestly speaking. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to like very portray that, like just through my storytelling videos, through my pad work videos, through the behind the scenes videos that I do with some of my clients, through even my educational videos. When I Waleed, he was telling he watched that bag work video, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's a video that I wanted to show to people. I wanted to show people like these type of little nitbits like that. So that's when I picked up the camera and I was like, I want to do videos for those people. I wanted to show people what boxing was, that it's not an intimidating sport. And I wanted to reach out to the most people as possible. You know what I'm saying? Around Montreal, especially. And then, now it's starting to reach kind of everywhere, you know what I'm saying? But in general, I wanted to reach the people that feel like boxing is an intimidating sport around Montreal. And yo, if you want to start boxing, yo, just I'm available at all times. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the idea behind my videos, man. You know?
What's the plan for the next, like I say, 3 to 5 years? Is it just continue growing the page, continue with the coaching?
Continue. I go day by day. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of see how things are going. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, in anything in life, you got to project yourself in 5 to 10 years and 20 years from now. Now, from what it is, I do want to grow myself as a boxing coach. My bad. I want to make myself better. I want to get as many people as possible to teach. You know what I'm saying? Of all shapes and form. You know what I'm saying? Like ages. Like I want to teach 5 year olds, 4 year olds. I want to teach 60 year olds. I want to like teach every type of people. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see how I do with all these type of people. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I could be a formidable coach for all these type of people, right? So that's for one. I want to get better and better and better as a coach. You know what I'm saying? And keep putting myself out there on social media. So yes, grow the page, grow myself as a fighter. That's for as a boxing coach. That's for one. But also, and it's not a not to say it's a big goal, but maybe one day open my own gym and bring people to my own place. But I'm not too fond about that because honestly, I really love Hard Knocks Gym. I feel like it's a culture that's I think everybody should have that type of culture. It's a very family oriented, community based, community driven place, and it's with and it's not only me as a coach there. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got Herbie at that gym, we got the Muay Thai coach Christoph at that gym, we got Ibrahim, my coach at that gym, we got Terrence at that gym, we got Mel at that gym, we got and we got me. You know what I'm saying? These are all coaches that they have their own unique experiences and their skill sets, and this is like people that I truly trust into bringing other people that come into the gym and be like, yo, boxing is fun, boxing is good for me, yo, this gym is great, and I love Hard Knocks with a passion. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like I just want to be at that gym as long as possible, whether or not maybe one day like I have equity in the gym or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where I just want to like be at that gym for as long as possible because I really love the values, the morals, the community that my coach Herbie built. And it's like that's where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So in general, that's what I see myself doing, like staying at gym as long as possible. Never say never for my own place. You never know with life. You know what I'm saying? But I go day by day and keep showing boxing to the whole world for the people that really want to learn. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm a coach that you can really learn a lot from. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing. So now we'll dive into some questions that I had prepared for you.
Go ahead, man.
Let's see. Was there ever a moment you thought about quitting boxing, like
Oh
fighting?
yeah,
Yeah.
bruh. Yeah. Like it's like a boxing emotion is up and down. It's like when you win, whoo, when you lose, whoo, and you've won and you've lost. You know what I'm saying? How'd you feel when that happened?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's more of a it's one of those sport like you lose a football game or a soccer game, like your reputation wasn't really on the line, but lose a boxing fight, it's in front of your friends, your
There you
family,
go,
it's
man. It's
it's
just your
different.
your ego gets shattered, everything gets
Yeah.
shattered, and it's like you always have those moments. Now, what's funny with me is that throughout my life, like with the before I even joined the boxing gym, I was fighting, right? I would lose these fights in front of my friends. So I never, when I actually lost my fights, I never felt I was like, it's part of the sport. You know what I'm saying? Game's game. I don't feel anything. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, winning and losing felt the same. You know what I'm saying? And it could be dangerous in that way. You know what I'm saying? But it always kind of felt. I always felt that when I lost, I would learn something, and when I won something. Like, cause I always thought about it as a sport first and foremost. I was like, I'm just learning the sport, and I'm getting better and better and better, and that made me a better fighter as I was doing it. So for the longest time, I never felt like quitting. I always kind of pushed through, pushed through, pushed through. But honestly, it was honestly when I was on uh, the Olympic team that I was like, yeah, I do want to stop because that's when my balance. It was not because of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was telling you, winning and losing, and I love I love everything about boxing. I love the show about it. I love winning. I don't mind the losses too. Like I'm like shit. I went into the fight and I lost. Fuck it. My hard work, I put on the line, and I feel proud about myself because that's what it is. If you don't cheat the hard work, you will never feel beneath yourself, or you'll always feel proud of the work you put in. And that's always how I felt about my fights and whatnot, whether I lost or won or where the case may be. But when I was on the Olympic team, that's when I really felt like quitting. And at some point after like everything was said and done, I did end up stopping. And never say never for the future. I may come back for another fight or kind of dibble and dabble and try maybe a fight or not. I don't want to. I don't see myself doing it, but I'm still young. I'm 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know what I'm saying? But like that was when I really thought I was gonna stop at that moment because my balance in life was all over the place. I had school, I had the coaching, and I had fighting. But not only that, that's three things in my life. I have friends, I have family, I have girlfriends. You know, like not girlfriends, but just a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like I just have people that I was like, I want to spend time with these people. Like these are guys that like they know me before boxing. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it in life, the cars you buy, the house you bought, the medals you earn, the belts you all these achievements, they all go away when you die. You know what I'm saying? And the people that are closest to you, they don't really give a shit about this. They admire you for it, but they don't give a shit about that. They give a shit about how you made them feel. Like do, when let's say your close friends, do they don't necessarily care about, let's say, how successful you are, or how you how do you say, just in general how successful you are. They care about, okay, Jad is a good person. He made me laugh this day. He's a funny guy. He's a nice guy. He's very this way. You know, they only care about how you made them feel. And that's what it was for me. I understood that when I was so driven in boxing, I was so driven in like just or I was so like clouded by school and this type of moment. That's when I realized that like I was neglecting like my friends, my family and whatnot, my girlfriend. And I was like, yo, like I'm making them I'm pushing them to the side when these are people that were by my side forever as I was young, and I'm making them feel like shit. I'm making them feel like they're the problem in my own life. When in general, I just like I want to make them feel good when they're around me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all that people remember. They don't care if you push them to the side and you became a world champion boxer. Because at the end of the day, when I look back at it, I want to be their friends and whatnot. So then I realized that like I want to spend time with the people I love for one. I want to focus on one thing. That's balance to me. And I decided that I was going to be coaching because I truly had a passion for it comparatively to everything else. So that's that was like a big period of my time where I was very much second guessing myself, but not because I was, let's say, losing fights or getting my ass whooped or anything like that. I was just there like, what do I want in life in the future? Where do I see myself in 5 years? Do I see myself like doing fights? No. So it's like I'm gonna coach people, and I'm gonna really like focus on relationships with the people that are close to me. So that's when I was like, this is uh this is what I want to focus on. And honestly, it's paid a lot of dividends for me. You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm like, because I also realized that I'm very much a giver to people. You know, as a coach, you're a giver. You give your knowledge to people, you give your happiness to people, you give your passion to people. And from there, they build their own passion for the sport and other things in life. And, you know, honestly, it's on one of the best decisions I've done in my life when I really like sat back with myself and I talked to a few people, but also talked to myself about it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's 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 what I want to do with my life. And Yeah, man. That's what it was.
Amazing. A lot of these questions we already covered, so I'm not gonna go through
Yeah,
everything.
it's good, man. It's good.
Yeah. Let's see. What's something people don't understand about the mental toll of boxing?
It's you versus you. It's you versus you, but not just in the sport of boxing, but just in everything in life. Like we were talking about the whole time. Like you're managing relationships with other people. You're managing your school. You're managing maybe business. You're managing all these different things, and that's what it is in boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's the mental toll it takes in you. It's like what you do when you're not in the gym. That's the mental toll there. Do you like how well do you sleep? How well do you recover? How well do you eat? Like all these little things in life, they really matter and they compound. Like if you do one thing wrong, then it's gonna mess you up in the long term. So it's a battle against yourself, and that's what I love about boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, in a team sport like football, you can have a rough night, but then you got your running back or your quarterback carrying the load. For example, you know what I'm saying? Same thing in soccer. You know what I'm saying? You can have your other 10 players. They can carry the load for you. You know what I'm saying? But in boxing, you have a rough night, you know what I'm saying? The next day in training, you're gonna pay for it. Or in your fight, you're gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. It's a battle against you. But that's what I love about this sport. It really brings out the real you. You know what I'm saying? When you lose a fight, I look back at what I did. Was my training flawed? What did I do wrong? And was I mentally good? It's that's what it is in boxing. That's what the mental toll it is on the sport. That's what I would say. And I mean, yo, shit, you've definitely felt that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You would answer the same way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
Yeah. 100%. Has boxing changed the way you handle pressure outside of the ring?
Oh yeah, bro. Like I'm gonna tell you, like look, if you're able to lose in a boxing fight, right, and take it correctly, like you're able to like be mature about a loss, you can handle anything in life. You know what I'm saying? Because you get whooped in a fight in front of your friends and family, and you take it like a champion. What Anything in life that happens, whether you get rejected at a job interview, whether you get a bad grade in school, whether you whatever, like business is going bad, you can go through it like it's nothing. Because mentally you went through one of the worst things in life, for example. You know what I'm saying? Like technically speaking. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what it is, man. Real shit. Real shit.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Let's see. I want to just make sure I covered everything before we get on to the rapid fire
Go ahead,
questions.
man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we went through everything.
Yeah.
Is there someone who believed in you and even in during times when you didn't believe in yourself?
Bro, my coaches. my my coaches, man. They I don't know what it was, man. Like along I would say, and I kind of found this out recently when I went to a dinner with Hard Knocks. Because we do always a Christmas dinner at the end of the year to kind of like thank everybody for the work they did. Like Herbie brings us to a nice dinner. And one of the coaches, Terrence, he said, you know, one of the things we saw in you a long time ago, and he said that like kind of unironically, it was like you had initiative. Like you really had initiative. And because I was a very small kid and not strongest. Like I couldn't even do a squat properly. Like I kept lifting my heels up when I did the squats, or when I was in my boxing stance, I was very weak. Like I would get pushed over easily and fall down. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I did was in the competition class, and maybe at Pacome there's competition class, whatever, with like the competition. Is there that honestly?
I don't think so.
But competition team, you know what I'm saying? Where like you have like a bunch of fighters, like young kids, like we're like 15 in the class, and we weren't doing any sparring. Like we're all kind of like fresh and new after COVID, and like we were all like training to have fights and whatnot. And one of the things was we weren't sparring, and I was like, I want to spar. Like we're fucking training here for a month, doing all these drills. Why are we not sparring? But I didn't say that because I was very quiet and reserved. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do a bad light of myself. So one day I went to Donnybrook Gym. If you know Donnybrook Gym, is a gym that Shaquille Finn trains at, and a lot of great pro fighters. Jessica Camara, maybe if great pro boxers. And I sparred the filmer. I
Mhm.
sparred Malik. So that was my first ever competitive sparring. And my friend Bardan, which I mentioned, uh, how do you say, he filmed it and he showed it to the coaches. And we went there without telling our coaches, and I did very good sparring, you know what I'm saying? And I just kinda tried it, and, they looked at it like, "Yeah, this kid's good, man," you know what I'm saying? But it was just like, I took the initiative myself to tell someone, "I wanna fight you, and I'm gonna spar you on this day, and I'm gonna pull up and do it." That's what they admired about me. They were like, "He's taking initiative because he wants it. He wants to fight. He wants to do boxing." You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is in boxing. You gotta take initiative for yourself. Because if you think about it, no one's gonna do it for you. No coach is gonna tell you, like, if a coach like keeps poking the bear, poking you like, "Yo, like, you wanna fight? You wanna fight?" And you keep like, "Oh, I don't know," or whatever the case may be. You know, like, how frustrating is it for you as a coach to do that? Very frustrating, right? So it's like they saw something in me that, like, they were like, he's taking initiative for his own journey. Okay, let me let me uh let me put my marbles in him. You know what I'm saying? They say like don't put your marbles in everything, right? They put their marbles in me a little bit, and then it paid dividends. Like my coach Ibrahim, he spent a lot of time with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was very skinny. I wasn't the strongest boxer, but he spent a lot of time making me stronger, better as a boxer. He understood my strengths, my weaknesses, how I think, my mental strength. He knew me in and out the ring. Like he knew me from A to Z. You know what I'm saying? He knew when I felt hurt in a sparring. He knew when I felt confident in a sparring. He knew when I was angry, when I was happy, when I was sad. He knew everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's a guy that really like believed in me when everything felt clouded. You know what I'm saying? He always felt like he could make something happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's because I always showed up. I always showed up. I was always coachable. I always had the initiative and the drive to keep on getting better and never giving up. So that's the guy that like I was like, even when I felt like shit, like I lost a fight or like I did bad in the sparring. Most of the time was when I did bad in sparring. You know what I'm saying? Uh, he was there like, nah, bro, you had a nice jab, you had a nice straight right hand. Like, look at this on the film, and I'll be like, okay. He's like, okay, now check this out. You're gonna make this better. This is how we're gonna do it. So he kept kind of like he kept making not making me feel better, but he always made things clear. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're a new fighter, you always think you had a bad sparring because you didn't do certain things. But then your coach sees differently. And then he made me understand that like, oh shit, okay, like that's good. You know what I'm saying? So I would say my coach Ibrahim and then Herbie, he really believed in me when I was fighting. And Herbie's a guy, he likes fighters with a lot of heart. And one of the fights I got dropped like on my ass with a big shot in the first 10 seconds of the fight. I didn't get knocked out, but I got back up and I banged my gloves together and I said, "Let's go." I said that. And then I fought the rest of the fight. I brawled with this guy. And this guy, he was a guy that was also 15 pounds heavier than me. This like I said, Hard Knocks does this to see how what's your heart and your how strong you are as a person mentally. And I was fighting, pop, 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 and went to decision. I lost the decision, but it was such a close fight by the end of the fight that you wouldn't even remember that got dropped in the beginning. Like I really fought through like everything. And that fight, like Herbie didn't even take it as a loss. He was like, yo, I've never seen heart like that. Like that was a fight right there. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when everybody started believing in me. Like, okay, this kid not only has he doesn't have an ego, he's driven, he doesn't take losses badly, he's able to be coachable, but he also has heart. We're gonna put our marbles in him. So it's those are the people that really believed in me, and honestly, I'm grateful that for them because without them really like seeing that in me, I don't know where I would be today, honestly speaking. So thankful for Hard Knocks, thankful for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's honestly life changing for what it is. I didn't realize it when I was getting there because you're kind of always clouded with everything, but when you look back at it, you're like, thank you for everything they did. You know what I'm saying? So things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Okay, so for the next section, we're gonna do it kind of rapid fire stuff. So
Let's do it. Let's do it.
just answer quick.
Quick, quick. Let's do it.
Favorite boxer of all time.
All time Floyd Mayweather. Just very poised, very quick. And currently, Shakur Stevenson, man. Just those two, watch them 24/7, man. Big time.
Hardest opponent you've faced.
Hardest opponent. Shit. The least. The least. But it wasn't because it was hard. It was just it made me realize, boxing, you have to be smart in boxing. Like, it was like he was smart and I wanted to fight like him. You know what I'm saying? It was that's why it was hard. It wasn't because he punched hard or he was faster than me. I was just very impressed by him. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully he watches this because he's a great fighter. I could definitely see him be a great pro fighter. Honestly, one day.
One word that describes boxing.
Discipline.
Best advice you've ever received.
Have initiative.
Worst advice that you've ignored.
Bro, I'm one of those guys who just like they get bad advice and they just forget about it. Like, like when people say just forget about it, oh, I can't. Like, I'm one of those guys who genuinely forgets about it. So honestly, worst advice, fuck. Like, you know when when you get, maybe in a this is like, I wouldn't say advice like about life, but I'll say maybe advice in boxing. But when like someone tells you like you're kind of flowing in boxing, but you have your hands down because in a fight you're not always gonna have your hands tight here, right? I mean, shit, that'd be stupid, right? You're always like kind of flowing, putting your hands here, Philly shell, whatever. I hear in my corner from some random guy, yo, keep your hands up, bro. Come on, man. Like let me flow a little bit. Let me do this. Let me do that. So I'll say maybe like shit like that. Like just little nitbit comments like that.
Mhm.
Like, yo, like mind your fucking business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You feel me?
What's a habit that changed your career?
Uh, can it be good and bad?
Yeah.
I remember the bad very clearly, but it's when I started taking my nutrition badly, and I started taking my sleep as not a priority. That's when I was like, that's also when I was like kind of like letting go of boxing as a competitive hold. Like when I took that habit out of my thing, I think it's very important. Even nowadays, like I do prioritize nutrition and sleep, but shit, McDonald's is good, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that uh a a good habit,
Yeah.
uh a good habit. Honestly, a good habit is, and I love saying this word because it's funny. You're Muslim, right? I'm not Muslim. I'm Hindu. Okay, but I'm not very like pratiquant. I don't practice Hinduism. But I went to a mosque 4 times in my life because when I was 13 years old, I had to do in school these how do you say, community services for school, and it was obligated. And I cleaned the mosque up with my Muslim friends. So they made me they I don't know why they did this, honestly, when we're looking back, but they made the sheikh believe I was Muslim. So they said I was Pakistani and I was Muslim, and I was saying salam alaikum, walaikum salam, all this type of stuff. I wasn't Muslim because they were scared of the sheikh. I think maybe you as a kid, maybe you too, you were scared of the sheikh, a serious guy and this, that. But that's how we felt about the man. And one of the things he said was vous devez avoir l'initiative. You have to have initiative. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to come here and want to clean the mosque because it's a good thing. You're gonna get hasanats. You know hasanats for sure. And that's when I learned oh shit, like, yeah, that's what initiative is. So a habit that I very much tell everybody to have is have initiative with anything you want in life. No one will give it to you. Take the initiative to do it and see where it brings you. You know what I'm saying? You might have a snowball effect happening. And if you don't, then fucking we'll see what's up. Try something different. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a good habit of mine's.
Last question. What does boxing mean to you?
It's my life. It's my discipline, and it's something that I want to bring to others. People that were in the same position as me, and that feel like it's an intimidating sport and a scary sport. I want to make it fun. I want to make it a good thing for them. You know what I'm saying? That's what boxing means to me. I want boxing to be accessible. That's what it means to me. I don't want it to be a scary sport. I want it to be something that the normal folk can do. You know what I'm saying? Because like any sport, I think boxing is a beautiful sport. You know what I'm saying? Like rugby, like tennis, like soccer, every sport is beautiful in its own way. And I think boxing should be tried by anybody. You know what I'm saying? And because I love sports. I tried every sports in my life, and boxing was the one I loved the most. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody should. should try boxing. At least one session, one training. You know what I'm saying? Just to see how it feels. Like a good training, not some bullshit where some coach tells you grab the jump rope, do whatever, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like a proper training with a coach. I feel like every person should do it once in their life, and that will show them boxing. That's what it means to me. You know what I'm saying? Really.
Amazing, man.
That's it,
Appreciate
man.
your time
There you
for
go, man.
coming on.
Appreciate your time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
This is your time as well, man.
it's my pleasure. Where can people find you? You want to just plug your services?
Bro, you can find me on Instagram, Divesh Boxing. You can find me on TikTok, Divesh Boxing as well, or you can find me on YouTube now, Divesh Boxing Coach. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to check out the website, diveshboxing.com. So just write my name, write boxing, and you're good to go. That's where you can find me. Or, just text me, you know what I'm saying, on all these social platforms. I'll give you my phone number or my email or anything like that to contact me. But yeah, you can find me anywhere. I'm accessible. Okay. Don't think I'm busy or anything like that. I am accessible to everybody. You feel me? So yeah, man.
All right, amazing.
That's it, man. Yo, thank you for having me on the pod, man.
My pleasure.
Yes, sir, man.